Welcome back to FTB Stoneblock 4. I'm Bumstar, and today's episode, we're going all in on our gear upgrades. We're upgrading our armor to Eclipse Alloy from Just Dire Things, crafting a brand new weapon using ProjectE, and then pushing everything as far as we can with Apotheosis and high tier enchants. Once our gear is upgraded, we're going to start tracking down and taking on the bosses that are required for tier 4. This is where things start to really ramp up, so let's get into it. So in between episodes, I have upgraded our chickens a bit, and I have gotten all the way to the Nether Star chicken, which means that I have tier 8 seeds being made right now. And doing that, I've set up a bunch of growth accelerators with some Just Dire Things soil from the 3rd tier with the Celestia Gem soil. That's Void Shimmer, I believe. And I mean, it's pretty fast. It's not quite as fast as some other options, but it gets the job done. And after today's episode, we will be able to make the Eclipse Alloy hoe and upgrade this even further, so it's just a bit faster and then completely automated, and we can just forget about it. So the first thing I want to look at is to see, okay, we have plenty of netherite scraps. And how's our gold looking? Our gold's not great. We do have 2 gold chickens rocking in here right now. And, you know, they're doing a decent job, but we need to definitely increase our seed pushing to push this even further. So we're gonna go ahead and just start crafting some of our Eclipse Alloy, and to do that we need blocks of a netherite, and I decided to put the goo in here since, well, this is kind of our gear room anyway, so it just kind of makes sense to have it here. Feed that a little skulk, give that the netherite, and we'll wait for it to convert. And so from 6 blocks of netherite we got 20 raw Eclipse Alloy, and we're gonna go ahead and just do that a couple more times. And now we have about a stack of raw Eclipse Alloy, so we're going to go smelt that down. And we have over a stack of Eclipse Alloy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a piece of gear, and we're making fresh instead of upgrading our current, because I don't feel like removing the enchants I already have, and it's just easier to do this. So we now have our full set of Eclipse Alloy gear, and let's go ahead and make the Eclipse Alloy hoe as well. And we already have our Eclipse Alloy Paxel, so that works for that. And we're going to go ahead and switch all of our soil over real quick. And all of our soil is now switched over to the Eclipse Alloy soil, or the Shadow Post soil, so it should grow a bit faster and still be completely automated. Perfect. But now that we have our Just Dire Things gear, we want to make the Just Dire Things gear upgrades. And since this is the final set for Eclipse Alloy, we can then put all of the different upgrades on this gear to really get it going. And one of the big ones is going to be flight. It is just full creative flight. So let's go ahead and make all of our upgrades. The unfortunate thing for the upgrades is we still need ferrocore. So we're going to need to make sure that we have plenty of ferrocore ingots going. So we'll just go ahead and stand here and do this process while we're waiting. So we're going to go ahead and just make every single one of these that we possibly can and get them ready to put on our gear. Alright, and now that we have every upgrade that we can possibly make right now, we'll go ahead and put that on their gear. And there's a few more that we still need a couple different items from. Stupefy, we need some poisonous potatoes. Water breathing, we need our pufferfish and our prismarine shards, which are just stuff that, you know, we can make the prismarine shards with our atomic reconstructor. But for the pufferfish, we don't quite have that yet. For our flight upgrade, we need some phantom membranes. And for decoy, we also need phantom membranes. To get those phantom membranes, let's go ahead and head to spawn. And I believe they're at the catalyst. They are. Perfect. So now let's make our flight upgrade. And let's make our decoy upgrade. And now we just come to our smithing table, put each item in, and put it in with its respective upgrade, and it'll now be upgraded. And now that we have all of our gear upgraded, let's go ahead and grab some experience, 400 levels to be exact, and pop our Eclipse Alloy helmet in here. Right, so we're looking for Aqua Affinity and Respiration, looking for Protection, Oh, I don't have any actual protection. All right, so we've got some lapis. We've made 100 book. We're gonna go ahead and just start getting as many enchants as we possibly can here, because, well, we need some protection. But we also need other random enchants as well, so we're gonna just do general books to just try and get as much as we can. Let's go ahead and try some of these specialized books too. It's got some protection on it. Got so many curses. We're gonna go ahead and remove this arcane treasures. Let's see how that affects us. We're a little low on Eterna now. Another end shelf here. That puts us back at 90, so that should, yeah, that got rid of most of our bad curse enchants. So we should be able to start seeing more protection coming out. And while we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and do some weapon ones as well. So that way when we make our new upgraded weapons, we have a bit better of an option. All right, so we're going to want to do Aqua Affinity. We're going to want to do Respiration, Protection. And how many do we have here? Points stored. Just go as high protection as we can. No, none of that. Poison, Thorns. There's some Thorns on here. And there's our enchants for our headpiece. Now for our chest, let's do Berserker's Fury. No bones. Let's go protection. Need more thorns in here, and we'll just take that for now. For our legs, let's do swift sneak, protection, thorns, and that's good enough. And then for our boots, let's do feather falling, even though we have all increased. Depth strider, stable, protection, and thorns. Take that to our anvil. And let's get rid of all of this, and let's put our new gear on. And now we have Creative Flight, as well as some pretty solid enchants. Nothing fantastic, nothing big and fancy, other than Berserker's Fury. That's pretty good. But we have Thorns, so if we get hit, we're going to do damage. We have a ton of extra protection here. Should be good to go. And we're also really fast. I mean, just look at our armor here. We have 2 times bars of armor, so we have 2 times bars of health. Good amount of armor here. We're going to take way less damage. We also have all of the different upgrades: Mind Fog, Debuff Remover, Night Vision, Invulnerability, Flight, Lava Immunity, Extinguish, Run Speed, Swim Speed, Walk Speed, Decoy, Step Assist, Ground Stomp, Fall Damage, Jump Boost. I mean, we are good to go. But we need a weapon. And for the weapon, I would like to do the Red Guitar from ProjectE, because that is 24 damage at its absolute base. And that is pretty crazy. So in order to craft this, I've already set up patterns for red matter. And I mean, that's pretty simple, right? It's dark matter with the fuel. And this is just, you know, the Philosopher's Stone with this fuel, and then the alchemical fuel, and then coal and charcoal, and all of that creates, you know, multiples, right? And I have that all set up in our system so we can just auto craft it. Now, where it really comes down to is these 4 items that we have to make through ProjectE: the sword, the axe, the hoe, and the shears. And for those, we need to make dark matter tools, but then we're also going to need these red matter smithing templates. And before last episode, so we weren't able to make these, because they required the Crystal Matrix, Energy Core, and Energy Core Stabilizer upgrade, but we have that now. So this is something that we can absolutely make. But we need to make a Dark Matter template, and that's Dark Matter with a smithing template, and we need to get the Netherite smithing templates, which we can buy from the Echo of the Fabricator. So let's go grab one. So we only need 1, because we can duplicate them. And to do that, it just requires netherrack with our smithing template and diamonds surrounding it. So now we can just sit here and duplicate a ton of them. And now we have 64. That should be pretty good. So in order to make those, we need to make the dark matter ones. And that's just power in our world engine. So we're going to just set this up with our patterns and start making the weapons. All right, so I have all the patterns set except for our hoe, axe, and sword, because we need to make netherite swords. So we're going to need to make diamond weapons first. So we have a diamond hoe. And let's go ahead and just grab these without enchants. We'll make some new ones. All right, so diamond axe, diamond hoe, and a diamond sword. And let's grab our smithing templates. So we're gonna need some of those with some netherite. And let's go turn these to netherite weapons. And then we're going to need dark matter. So we're gonna need 3 dark matter smithing templates and 3 dark matter. And let's place those in here and turn these to dark matter. And now that we have the dark matter ones, now we need 3 red matter smithing templates and 3 red matter. Ooh, and we need more coal to do this. And this is why it wasn't being pushed through. There we go. So this should be configured to tier 8. Yep. So everything should start filling up here now. There we go. All right. It's going to take a little time, but to make sure we get all the tier 5 stuff out. All right. Our coal is running. Gone ahead and made 5 more coal chickens as well. So we have 7 going right now to get more coal. All right. We're going to go ahead and transform some cows until we get some molten carbon cows. Your molten iron. Oh, look, it's so tiny too. So let's make a couple clapples, get some wheat, and to make sure that we are breeding these cows as well. And our creature catcher, so we can move any of the cows that we bred to a different pen. So we'll put iron cow over here. Go ahead and turn you into one. I'll do you and you. What do we get over here? Another molten. It's another molten iron. And we got a carbon fluid cow. Perfect. And then with these cows, we can breed them together to kind of see what we want to make. So we can make a steel cow with an iron cow and a carbon cow. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is nice, except it's kind of slow. We have a bucket of carbon in there, and that ends up being a block and a chunk. So if we pour that out, will that turn into a block of coal? It does. Okay. So we can automate this with industrial foregoing, and in the future we will. And we'll set this up. This is probably something I should have done sooner, but it looks like we're going to need a ton of coal to make this sword. So we're going to just get there, and we will automate this in a future episode just to kind of see how it's done with some industrial foregoing, and yeah, go from there. All right, back to our red matter. So we need 3 red matter. Can we make this yet? We can. And I have to say, ProjectE is definitely something that I wish I would have played with a little more, because it's a pretty cool mod, and I'm excited to use these weapons. I was gonna go with the red matter armor, but I just really like this Eclipse Alloy stuff with all the different upgrades you get, especially with creative flight, not having to worry about setting that up a different way. And it's not like flight really matters too much in this mod pack anyway, because, well, we're in stone, but it's sure to come in handy. While we're at it, we're also going to make the Eclipse Alloy bow just to give us a little extra oomph. And we are missing 18,000 coal. That is crazy. All right, something's eating up all of our power. What's going on here? Are we out of uranite? Looks like we are. Oh no. Definitely need a better way to store some power. Okay, and we've got some uranium chickens now. So we're getting our uranium. Go up here. All right, we've got some power being generated now. So do I have, okay, uranite, and I have crafting cards in here, right? All right, we're gonna need to do some more roofs. So let's do 10 of these. All right, we should be getting enough uranium now. I've made 10 uranium chickens, so that should be coming over here to autocraft as soon as it comes up, and should be pumping into our generators. All right, looks like they're starting to fill back up. Just did not have enough uranium. Started running out of that. So we have enough power, and also I wanted to make more of our reactors because I've been slacking on that. So I'm missing some diamond and some uranium. So we'll get to that point soon. So I'm going to start really scaling up these chickens just to get them going because, well, we're already at tier 8. It's super simple. Once you get into this and figure out how it works with the making the different tiers of seeds, breeding them is very, very simple. And I mean, we can just make an absolute ton of everything that we need and just scale this up an insane amount. And we'll use something like garden cloches or whatever. I've started digging out here to put these back here. And maybe we just make a giant hidden room full of chickens. So I've gone ahead and started updating my chickens because I was looking into it a little bit. And what I was originally doing was just doing multiple chickens for resources that I needed and realized that that wasn't very efficient. Because we have something like this, the chicken trainer, where we can increase the level of our chicken, and by increasing that level, it increases the amount of resources you get from it. And by doing so, I've created this monstrosity. So these right here are just our uranium chickens. We're going to go ahead and move these uranium chickens. So instead of using the blocks that come with the Roost Ultimate, they're kind of annoying to handle. And I figured I could easily do this by running an interface, by just tier 8 chicken seed through the interface. And that's getting pumped into each one of these chickens. As long as I set this to pool. There we go. Now it's and it's still not pumping them into some of these. It's just taking some time, but it's going to pump that into all of these chickens here. So each one will get a seed and be maxed out and continuously go. But the big thing with it is every time that these upgraded chickens, like the coal, for example, we needed coal. So I got the coal chicken to 128, and now every single time it consumes a seed, it gives me a stack of coal instead of a single. Before we were running into issues with coal, we now have 383,000 coal just over the course of a little bit of time. And then I have the chicken training gym set up here with just automated with a modular router, very simple to set up. This pulls seeds from here and then sends them into the gyms, the chicken trainers, and just distributes all of them through with 4 distributor models. Very simple to set up, but then that way these are automatically going to be filled up so we can get all of our chickens to 128 and get fully leveled up so we get a stack per seed. And that will really help with our resource generation. We still have a couple more here, but we'll add those in later once we can get rid of these. Because uranium's the big thing we need right now for our power. We run out of uranium, we run out of power, and then we're completely out of luck. So if I need to make more of these, I will scale this. I was planning on doing an entire room full of these, but I found that this is more than enough, and I'll be able to, once all my chickens are trained up, be able to use these in this system. And you know what? We'll go ahead and just link that now so we don't have to worry about it. So now those are all linked and we're good to go. And we're getting an absolute ton of resources by doing this. Also, with us running into a power issue, I did upgrade some of our reactors to spirited, which are now generating 44,000 FV a tick versus our 11k FE a tick from our Niotic. So huge jump by just crafting the next stage up. We could technically craft the nitro reactors, but it's a little bit more, and I don't have Fortron completely automated yet because of how much power it uses. So I wanted to wait to set those up, but that will just completely dominate the spirited reactors, especially once we fill this whole thing up. But now that we have enough coal, we should have enough to finally make our red matter smithing templates. Well, we have way more than enough. So let's go ahead and craft those. Yeah, the only thing we're missing for our nitro reactors is some molten carbon, which we can do. It's just a single bucket, or it's a single 10 millibuckets for one of these reinforced, and we're only going to need 1 per craft. So we could just very easily make those with our fluid cow by dropping a bucket into our world engine and doing that. And I'll probably do that just in between episodes. And this craft for the red matter smithing templates is taking quite a while because it is a lot to go through. I mean, we need thousands of these, and it requires thousands upon thousands of coal. And while we're making that smithing template, let's take a look here. We're just going to need 1 red matter per. So let's go ahead and make those red matter a while and let these both craft through. And now we have our 3 red matter templates, and we're just waiting on our other 3 red matter. And now that we have all of that, we can come over to our smithing table and let's make the red matter sword, red matter hoe, and our red matter axe. Come in here. We're going to need to make, let's see, do we have the red matter shears made already? There we go. We're going to go ahead and make our red matter and our red matter shears. And as you can see, as we're crafting all of these, we actually have gone up in coal. We have way more coal than we really are going to ever need now, which is just awesome. And it's going to be the same thing with redstone and a bunch of other stuff as we get these chickens going. All right, we have everything that we need to make our red guitar. And there we go. That is now a 24 damage sword on its base. So now let's enchant it. Actually, it looks like it can't be enchanted. That's kind of crazy, but I guess we'll see. And let's go ahead and see if we can actually not enchant this or not. Yep, there's no enchanting this. That's fine. So we will go ahead and let's make an Eclipse Alloy sword and let's enchant this. And we're going to test out all 3 of our weapons. So this weapon here deals a good amount of damage. 17, 20, 26. Just a fire. Alright, let's try this. At its base, this does nothing. Like 5, 6 damage. And then this. 27, 30. I mean, this thing, even without enchants, is extremely strong. 50. 71. Yeah, this sword is way better. What we're gonna set up now is, before we could only get our stuff to purple with the arcane sands. But now we have everything unlocked to be able to make our gouged forged pearls. So let's go ahead and set up a pattern for that, and let's just make a ton of them. We have everything we need. And while we're doing that, we're gonna go ahead and set up a crafter as well. And for this crafter, we wanna get to this fuel. We're gonna set up all the crafts that we need to get there. So we're gonna set this up to export coal with acceleration cards and import. And we're gonna have that import our Mobius fuel. Sorry, not the Mobius fuel. Have that import this fuel. And now with this crafter, we have this completely set up to be automated. So we'll just passively start getting fuel coming in as it starts speeding up and crafting everything. But that'll start crafting all of our coal into this, but we can always break it back down, and breaking it back down is a lot easier than building it. So now that we have that, let's take a look. Our 64 gouged forged pearls are complete, so we want to take that. Let's go ahead and get rid of our arcane, and we need some sigils of rebirth. And let's set up a pattern for this. I'm gonna make 64, and we may need more, but that'll be fine for now. Fill that up, put our God forged pearls in, take all of our armor off, and let's take a look. So the big thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make sure we're going with 3 sockets. Everything else is, well, important, but not as important. We don't need to worry about durability at all for this. And then we just want to look at the other effects, but we can always change those. So let's make sure we grab some levels here, and let's turn this render distance all the way down so it stops stealing all of our levels on us. And now let's do this again. So 3 sockets, 3 sockets. Go ahead and try our boots, see if that rerolls the sockets there. 3 sockets here, and 3 sockets. Let's look at our red guitar. How about our Eclipse Alloy sword? 4 sockets, we will take that. Let's go ahead and put more rebirth in here. And I guess we'll just take the 2 on this. And we just want to make sure none of these have evasion on them. And then we want to make an augment table. Now with an augment table, we need to make the sigils of enhancement. Let's go ahead and set up the craft for that. And I want to make 64 of these. And we're probably going to need more than 64, but we'll start with this. Let's enhance our armor. So we put the enhancement in here, and you have 2 options. You can upgrade the selected affix, or you can re-roll it, and it costs 1 sigil of enhancement to re-roll and 2 to upgrade. So let's look through here. We're not using mana at all, so we don't need this. If we pick the max mana, the mana touched, and we mouse over the re-roll, it'll tell us what it can re-roll to. So magic resistance, max health, soul ward, malignant conversion, and soul ward integrity, and that rerolled to fortune. Oh, and there are multiple pages here. So luck, max mana, burn time, oxygen bonus, armor toughness. So let's go ahead with our magic resistance, and as you can see, it costs an absolute ton of levels, and the unfortunate side effect is we don't really have that many levels. So I think the most important thing to do right now is going to be to re-roll our weapons. Let's re-roll this. On hit give snare, and I think that'll be good for now until we get some better experience, and we're gonna have to set up a real mob farm to get that experience. But we'll absolutely do that pretty soon, actually. So now let's head over here and swing our weapons with these graded to the final tier to see what kind of damage it does. Right, 67, 80, 100. Seems to have some build-up time. I think that's fine. 140, 150, 170, 178. It also has slowness and snare. And then this one here actually hitting pretty hard. And as it stands right now, we just don't have enough gems to really put anything in these. So we've set up our filter so it will blacklist gems from getting sent into here, and that should hopefully start building this up with some gems as time progresses. So now it is time to I guess go fight some bosses. Let's go chat with the ancient and see what he has to say. Now coming down here, we've got some Twilight Forest looking stuff, pretty cool, and we've actually got 2 of them down here. So you're the Echo of the Ancient and you're the Echo of Twilight. That's convenient, all in one spot.
Welcome, mortal, to your resting place. Not within this archive, precisely, but likely within the vault you must conquer if you wish to obtain the ancient upgrade for your world engine. Pay no heed to my sibling Twilight. Pride has been held on to a little too tightly, even as an echo. Still, I cannot deny I share some of the doubts about your ability to restore the world engine. No matter. As you have likely realized, despite the fragments of who we once were, we remain bound by our programming. We act as the work commands, regardless of our own feelings or fears. Your upgrade lies within a vault so ancient that moving it between realms would cause its collapse. The only path to it is through a portal within the ancient deep. Perhaps the Infernal or the Enchanter have already spoken of this place, each in their own way. Whatever they called it, you must be ready to fight for your survival. Defeat the horrors within, and you will uncover an alloy known as Cursium. With precision and care, it can be molded into euphonium, essential for advancing your world engine.
Alright, sounds a little ominous. Let's see what we got here. Relic upgrades, uranium or resource node, super dense energy cell, probably gonna grab one of these. Watch time flow, or watch flowing time, temporal time 2.5 hours, maximum relic levels, enter guardian, shulker data model, we definitely want both of those. Energy collector and a gateway pearl for the Apothic Pinnacle, which gives us 64 Godforged pearls. That's pretty good. All right, let's since we're here, let's talk to the Echo Twilight.
Look, brother, another would-be savior of mankind. How pitiful, and yet how predictable. So this is the one that the work chose to send to their doom. Unlike you mortals, my brother and I were born of an ancient and forgotten people. I have watched the ages pass since the fall of Twilight, stories older than time itself. If you are foolish enough to seek death, then by all means, challenge the vaults none have conquered. Your world contains vaults translocated by the work in a desperate attempt to hold back the end of yet another dimension. Within them dwell the remnants of my homeland, beings of immense power and wrath. To strengthen your world engine, you will need their heads as trophies, each one bound with an aspect of ancient magic.
All right, and so yeah, that's gonna require us to kill the Twilight Forest bosses. So we can either go kill a bunch of Twilight Forest bosses, or we go kill a bunch of we go kill the ancient boss. Or you go take a look at the ancient portal first. And we're definitely gonna do both. And our other option here is to go kill the Leviathan. I think we're gonna save that one for last. So for the ancient portal, we're gonna need to make a deep dark catalyst and a soul cage. And I think we can do either one of those. So let's go ahead and set up some autocrafts here. We have Skulk, we have Source. And then for our Soul Cage, let's take a look. We don't have an Ender Rune, but we do have Broken Spawner, and we can 100% make a Soul Lantern. And then we should have some Broken Spawners from our trip to the Another Dimension. Got our Soul Cage, and we have our Deep Dark Catalyst. All right, and let's head to the Deep Dark. Alright, so it looks like we need to activate the portal, hold the soul cage in our offhand, and it looks like the Reaper enchantment will fill the cage quicker. So we might want to go put the Reaper enchantment on something. Let's do that real quick. We'll go ahead and put that on our Eclipse Alloy. So time to run back over. Alright, we're back over. We have max level reaping, and let's see. Starting dungeon generation. Oh, and there's the portal. I feel like this really should be in vanilla Minecraft, but I've also never been inside here, so let's see how this goes. Alright, it is extremely dark in here. Alright, so we've got reaping already, and we just need to fill this soul cage. We're almost there already. I guess that's what happens when we have max level reaping. It's like probably one more. Looks like we now need to head back to the start. We definitely did not go through that room. We also did not go through that room. Here we go. Oh, some mushrooms too. And these are some juiced up mobs. Okay, here is the starting room. So now where is the elevator? Oh, right here. I feel like that's not supposed to look like that, but here's the boss room. This looks sick. So I'm assuming we need to, there it is. Holy, oh, okay. Oh, I am underneath the floor. Okay. We are absolutely not ready for that boss. Man, that is crazy. So it looks like we're gonna have a lot more preparing to do, because there is absolutely no way we are fighting that boss. That is insane. And so that's gonna do it for today's episode. We fully upgraded to Eclipse Alloy gear, and I don't know if that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna have to look around to see what I can find that might be better, because man, we're getting one shot and that's crazy. We also crafted a new ProjectE weapon, which is insanely strong, and I feel like we can definitely make that better with some gems. And we also pushed everything as far as we possibly can with our enchanting and our upgrades other than gems. We just need more experience to fully increase the defensive and offensive capabilities of our weapons and armor. So next episode, we are going to make a mob farm, a real mob farm, to get a ton of experience quickly, and then start pushing these bosses to see how strong we really are. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to join the Discord if you want to be part of the community. We just started the All the Mods 10 to the Sky mod pack. A ton of people are having a blast, and it's so cool to see. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later.